Hello, happy Friday afternoon. This is Jessica Saravia, the past chair from BPKC, and I'm here for another installation of Building Performance Knowledge Community Answers Your ARA questions. So let's dive right in. This question is about value engineering, which we will talk about a little bit more in depth at the end, but for now, let's look at our exhibit and read the question. Construction of a proposed heavy manufacturing industrial building is being negotiated with the general contractor. The owner requests a proposal from the contractor for changes to the building walls that will result in a shorter construction period without compromising building performance, functions, and characteristics. Which one of the following proposed changes will satisfy the owner's requirements? So we need to understand which of these wall systems, A, B, or C, will result in a shorter construction period, but maintain the same building performance functions and maintain the same building performance characteristics. Okay, so we need to analyze what we have here to know what those functions and characteristics are. We have a 12-inch reinforced CMU wall, whose cores, the cells of the CMU are filled with insulation. So this is an insulated exterior wall. But the CMU is not structural. We have steel beams and columns here that are supporting the roof of the building. So the CMU is just supporting itself. It's reinforced, which means that it's strong enough to support itself and be sitting on this foundation. And it's probably tying back to the roof here and maybe providing some lateral stability, but it is not necessarily carrying the weight of the roof because you have this beam here and a column. And then it's also probably load bearing, right? If it's reinforced, it's self supporting at least. It holds itself up. It doesn't need to be held up by another backup system. But one thing to note about this is that CMU is fairly robust, right? It would take impact pretty well. It's if it is used in a heavy manufacturing industrial building, if they have forklifts or other heavy machinery happening in there, if it gets bumped or nicked, it's not going to, be too affected by those activities the way like a drywall wall would, right? So it's something to consider in terms of function and characteristic. But also CMU is installed one at a time in small units. So that's part of the construction period issue that we need to think about. So some person needs to set each of these blocks one at a time, going all the way up the wall and all the way down the wall. And that takes time, lots of labor, takes time. So we're trying to shorten that construction period. Which one of the following proposed changes will satisfy the owner's request? Change to steel insulated wall panels, change to precast insulated wall panels, or change the exterior wall to 8-inch reinforced CMU. So let's examine each one. Steel insulated wall panels. Will it result in a shorter construction period while maintaining the same building performance functions and maintaining the same building performance characteristics? Insulated steel wall panels are pre-manufactured, meaning they're made in a facility off-site in a controlled environment. So they're not built on-site. The pieces coming to the site and assembled on-site. They are made in big pieces and delivered to the site in big pieces that are then kind of set in place. So it's not each little block that's set in place. It's a big panel slotted in place at once. But insulated metal wall panels are not load bearing or self-supporting. They need to be supported by a framing of some kind or a backup wall structure. This is an example of insulated metal panel here in Chicago, right off the highway. If you've driven down town, you probably have passed it. It's near North Avenue. It's by Gensler. It's a pretty good example, but you can see how big these panels are, right? Like they put these into place. It's a lot faster than going one little block at a time. So it would result in a shorter construction period, but it would not have some of the same functions or characteristics, right? This Insulation with thin metal on the outside is not going to be as impact resistant, and it would still need backup structure, right? So it's not as robust as a CMU wall would be. It is, however, a barrier wall system, which is like the CMU wall that we were looking at. It's self-flashing, they call it, meaning usually they have a profile like this where the water essentially can't sort of go in and up through all these little wiggly bits and pieces and get through a gasket that they usually have like as an air seal at the inside of the topmost kind of return here. So it functions pretty much the same in terms of water control, but it is not self-supporting and it is not impact resistant. So we're going to scratch that one off the list. The next one is precast insulated wall panels. So these also are pre-manufactured and delivered to the site in large pieces, but they are self-supporting and they can be reinforced and insulated. They can be produced off-site and trucked to the site in big pieces that are then tilted into place. This is a site poured precast wall, but they also have precast insulated wall panels here around here are probably made in a factory or like a bigger facility indoors, and then they reuse the same casting beds, and they'll make the. This is a building I walked by this morning on the way to work. It's a school that just went up in my neighborhood, and the modules for these panels are usually some width that is what fits on a flatbed truck and can go on a highway. So this is about 12, 13 feet. And then this ends up being about 20 feet, right? So this is about the height of our wall. And these panels can be insulated. You can stick insulation in between the two sides of the cast insulated wall panel. When they cast it, they can put concrete in the bottom, have reinforcing in there, and then put insulation in the middle, and then put more concrete on top. So it can be self-supporting, impact resistant, reinforced, insulated. So that's checking a lot of our boxes. Also, it's going to shorten our construction time because it's delivered to the site pre-manufactured in big pieces. We'll install faster. But let's do the last one just to see if that one is an option either. Change exterior wall to 8-inch reinforced CMU. Changing the size of the block isn't really going to help us too much. You still have to install it one at a time. That's kind of the problem here, the construction period. So not sure what that gets you. So I'm going to say that one is a non-starter, and we have our winner. It's B. Change to precast insulated wall panels. But here is my note of caution in value engineering and shortening your construction period that you might get what you pay for in terms of time and money. This owner who has gotten this great reduction in his construction schedule now needs his engineers to redesign that exterior wall, right? Like you have to redesign this wall from a 12-inch reinforced CMU. It has different rebar, it has different requirements. It's a different way of building a wall. So you're going to lose some time going back to your structural engineer, going back to your architectural team to redo those details. You have to locate embed plates to attach to, the edge of your roof deck here and things like that that you didn't have before. So you might save construction install time, but you have to weigh that against rework in terms of design, in terms of coordination. So something to think about. You might be not getting as much time as you bargained for, I guess. And so it's important to have all of that stuff in mind when you're looking at options so that you can advise your owner and, have all of the details and timeframes thought through so you can make an informed decision. So that's all for today. Have a good weekend, everybody. We'll do another question soon and send me an email or post something in the discussion on BPKC's discussion page, and I will answer your question. Have a good one.